The question was, am I weird for watching SpongeBob, Teen Titans Go, and Gumball at 15? And the intellectual replies, when I was 15, I was sneaking into the library at the local technical institute to read books on physical chemistry. I'm sure I was just as weird as you, but I suspect my intellectual pursuits stimulated my brain a bit more. And Osric Aurora says, who sneaks into a library? Bro, it's a library. I'm pretty sure you're allowed in. It's not Area 51. You're not trying to unlock the secret of the aliens over here. Hello, Redditors of the internet, Noble Xenon here, and welcome to r/IAmVerySmart, part 16. Let's get started. So, in response to someone offering condolences to the friend of a Ukrainian journalist who was just killed. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry that there's a true evil that's destroying Ukrainian lives in your country. My thoughts and prayers are with you all and the people of Ukraine. And the intellectual replies, can't you sympathize without bringing childish constructs like evil and prayers into it? Well, can you sympathize at all? For this next one, thanks for your input, buddy. Hopefully you'll be able to back that claim up by the time you graduate junior high. It's the unknown that kills you. I've often wondered what happened to this plane. May they all rest in peace. And the intellectual replies, just unknown, but nothing unexpected. It's probably a very boring reason anyway. I desire stimulation, but the world is just far too boring for someone of my intellect. Pensive emoji. What? Existence is suffering, dim one. Boredom is the worst form of torment. In the face of it, one even seeks out pain, just to feel some form of stimulation. What humiliating creatures we are. This intellectual and their desire to be stimulated at all times. We have a two-parter for this next one. As a midwit, I wasn't able to understand that there was a genius in my presence that could see through the big words I used. Words like subjugating, environment, primitive, and contradictory, and reveal the reality of my small intellect. Okay, midwit. Stop using big words or you might fry that genius 110 IQ brain of yours, LMAO. I have 145 IQ, and it friggin' pains me deeply that morons like you aren't even aware of how stupid you are while smugly thinking you're smart. r/IAmVerySmart. And then the continuation of the story of the genius and the midwit. Unironically, a midwit redditor. Disgusting, yet nothing surprising here. Get the back to your midwit cattle sewage. What is with this person's obsession with midwits? You subhuman trash. You don't even know how much I despise you, like all other 140 IQ despise 110 IQ midwits running around claiming they're smart, frying their last neuron to complete a complex yet nonsensical sentences, pretending to be smart and educated. Me talking with the likes of you is the equivalent of you talking to someone with Down syndrome. That's the intelligence gap we're having here. I legit don't consider you human. If I had enough power and the goal is to advance humanity, I would round all of you sub 130 IQ subhumans and launch multiple nukes to wipe you out. Holy shit! One is enough, but it just doesn't satisfy my hatred towards you insects. You are detrimental to the advancement of humanity because of your incurable stupidity. Wow, just wow. I am just hoping that this person is trolling and doesn't truly believe that. For this next one, yes, now I understand. This is a picture of an asteroid crater in Arizona. Look how close it came to hitting the visitor center. And the reply, I'd say that the crater was actually there before the tourist center, Sean. In fact, the tourist center was probably built for people visiting the crater. You hear that whooshing over your head? For this next one, my neuronal capacity, I'm just gonna leave this now. I hope that you at least get my point. You don't need to agree, but I feel like just knowing that, so... Intellectual replies. Underestimating the prodigious erudition of the scientific collective is a rigorous understatement in the appropriation of human astuteness and should be frowned upon in the coming centuries. I feel as though I'm arguing with a rock. It brings great detrimental effects to my neuronal capacity, and I'm at a lack of words for how strained and tethered I feel at the present moment. LMAO, okay, you must be trolling. Great detrimental effects to my neuronal capacity? Bye-bye. Differences between us is that I want to discuss. You just want to argue. The flight of an ignoramus is to call the opposing faction a troll to endeavor and undermine their argument because they're simply insecure about their own failure of logic and reason. I pity you because of your significantly more minute cerebral cortex and poor logic and reasoning skills. I hope you find some better channel of communication to fortify your inferior levels of logic and reasoning. Can you please just talk normally? Thanks. My brain is about to explode. For this next one, guy keeps talking about war and peace and Russian history like he's an expert, then just brags about his British/Greek/Roman history collection when he gets called out for it. What did war and peace have to do with communism? The Communist Revolution? War and Peace is set in the Napoleonic Wars, a century before the Bolsheviks. I'm gonna level with you. I have neither watched it or read the book. I assumed it was about the Russian Revolution, as it was written by Tolstoy, who was sort of into that kind of thing. Tolstoy died in 1910, so he didn't live to see the Russian Revolution, let alone be into it. Russian history is not my forte, I must admit. I will stick to the British/Roman/Greek history section of my personal library numbering 500 plus books. Cheers! Hey, if you're enjoying this, then why not hit that like button? If you want to see more, subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and comment if you have something on your mind. This next one even made it to r/all, trying to appear smart by being a D to his mom on Facebook. Why do this to your mom? Mom, reads article on very basic particle physics. Did you know that quarks come in pairs of 2s and 3s? Also, scientists recently discovered a tetraquark pair. Me, no, I'm blind, deaf, and stupid, Mom. Laughing emojis. At least she tried, I suppose. Haha. No, at least I cared enough to read the article. If you care, mesons, baryons, fermions, leptons, gauge bosons, hadrons, I almost said hard-ons, that would have been awkward, strangeness, charmness, etc. You get the point, haha. Okay, I'll study harder. And now my friend went as Pikachu and posted it to her story. A thirsty dude replied, "Catch me if you can. I don't think you could outrun me. You couldn't catch me if you tried. Yes, I could. I'm an elite level athlete with an elite level IQ. You couldn't evade if you tried." And now we have just a mild case of self-flattery. Until today, I had not heard about John. He talks about foreign affairs the same as I do. Very refreshing and very intelligent. Intelligent indeed. Light years, I tell you, light years. I couldn't even begin to tell you how so far off you are. Also, I love that that's what some people will get from my comments. It reinforces how, intellectually speaking, I'm light years ahead from so many people. I love it when I get reminded of that, and it's simplistic takes like that from my comments that help me with those tasty little reminders. Happy face? Yes, those reminders, oh so delicious. And now we have dream sexuals being garbage as usual. 9. If you give me a bad vibe, I'm gonna ban you immediately. Someone as great as me shouldn't have to be around lower level thinkers such as yourselves. When I'm a higher level thinker, we get any frauds up out of here immediately. Go on. Get out. These so-called dream sexuals have got to be joking, right? There's no way they're actually real. Right? When you feel the need to flex your brain to feel better, okay, what was the point of this comment exactly? I mean, I get it, you like the guy's post, you realize something incredible, mind-blowing, and you want to express that. I've had those times as well. Let's face it, it's a normal aspect of communication, but your inane comments simply add nothing of value to the conversation. Your word salad certainly doesn't add much either. What does agreeing with him do? Does it make you feel old to be part of the team? Does it make you happy to say that you're following his thought patterns? Is this really what you want out of life? I think you can do better, son. That's why I'm gonna use the parental approach and give you a down vote. Not because I dislike you, but because I want to teach you this very valuable lesson. Contribute to conversation, to society, my friend. Don't be a follower, be a leader. Even if it means you get down-teachered, as I'm fairly certain I will, but I'm brave and wise enough to comprehend the ill and negligible value of internet points, so that's irrelevant. May the force be with you, and live strong and Casper OP. Juan Canopy? What? Well, you got 26 downvotes, so a little more than what you gave them. For this next one, gotta love science. Man comes from the apes. Darwin's theory also states that man survives due to being the strongest. Scientifically, both of these are false. Man does not come from the apes, nor an animal, as it is actually not known where mankind comes from, nor did we survive as the strongest, because before us, there were giants, all of which documented at a prior 14 to 21.5 feet tall, genetically, scientifically, and officially proven. So, what gives? For this next one, bow down, you mortals! Nothing wrong with being offended by this. I grew up in an area where it seemed like every other word had 4 letters. I don't like it, and I will never be convinced that it's a good idea. I'm currently a Tesco Mobile customer, but will look elsewhere as a direct result of the ad. It's just a new class of people are forming, the scum who teach their kids to swear and fight, who watch MMA and become armchair wannabes. People like us with dignity and class are a dying breed. Yes, I'm sure the intellectuals are becoming fewer and fewer by the day. And now a sci-fi author with no military experience gives tactical advice to people of Ukraine facing Russian army tanks. Fun fact, hashtag Ukraine, a water balloon filled with $1 of paint thrown at the periscopes can disable a tank as fast as a $150,000 Javelin missile. Please do have fun. Learn from us. Learn from sci-fi authors? Tanks are not assets in an urban environment. They are anchors. Armored assets require a significant number of infantry to protect them. From you, shoot out their scopes with rifles, throw cocktails into their engine decks, turn them into ovens. This is not an appropriate time to write fiction. And then he went on to say, actually the quote, us. Here is the US military after 20 years of experience fighting counterinsurgencies where we learned some very tough lessons about the dangers of deploying armor in urban centers. But have your fun. I made a poll asking if people thought they were smarter than their friend group. This was the only response. Yes, however, that isn't to say my friend group isn't smart. My friends all have IQs above 130. However, my IQ ascends beyond all of them because mine is 142, making me much smarter. For this next one, I think those numbers may be a little inflated. We got ourselves a certified Facebook moment. Plus 500 hobbies and things I'm at least half good at. Plus 800 good business ideas I've had but couldn't get a grip on my mind to follow through with, and on and on and on. Those ideas don't matter unless you follow through with them. And who knows if they were actually good ideas in the first place. And now it's a tough life being a genius. The difference between someone with a superior, quote, IQ of 120 and the average person is the same difference between a regular person and someone who is mentally disabled. Imagine living in a world where everyone around you is mentally disabled. That's the reality for people with an IQ of over 120. Give us a break if we look down on you. This next one is in the top 6% most intelligent people, guys, although I can't tell if he's in the top 6%, 13%, or 3% of most intelligent people. I got from IQ test 123, but I think Putin's IQ is around 120 or 130s, so he is intelligent enough to know what tricks the West plays. While he ain't some super intelligent genius inventor person, but still intelligent enough to know how this political scenario is gonna play between Russia and the US, and he got the intelligence to know what coronavirus' main objective is. I myself got from the International IQ test, where there was 40 questions, score of 123 IQ. That means I got well over 30 questions right, so I'm in the top 6% most intelligent people in the world, and for my age group I'm in the top 13%, but I'm just 18 years old. So from people who have not any high school degree in my country, I'm top 3% most intelligent people. Yeah, just keep throwing percentages out there, that'll help. This next one is an asset wherever they end up. Yes, I have genius level IQ, and was born into incredible poverty and will never be able to do much with that other than survive better than the next guy because I'm wired to solve problems. If I was born at a different time and a different sex, then it might not matter. Classism as an issue is still just as bad, if not worse than ever. I feel honestly that I would be good at anything I ever tried, an asset wherever I end up, but worth nothing to people who are actually running society, whom choose nepotism and wealth over intellect every single time. And society as a whole sees financial success as proof of intelligence, and it's just patently false. Those people have the time and the money to invest in crafting their appearances. They attempt to seem brilliant, so that it is said that they've deserved what they've earned, but in all reality, I could do their jobs better than them 99% of the time. I think this is one of those that may have a valid point, but then the arrogance just takes over, thinking that they're better than everyone. For this next one, so some of us can visualize the fourth dimension. I think they may be four-dimensional or multi-dimensional. That's why the human eye perceives them like that. The tri-dimensional world can barely imagine how more dimensions could look like. And then the 4D intellectual replies, that is true for the mentally handicapped. For the rest of us, it takes about 3 hours of playing with a 4D Rubik's Cube online to develop a working intuition of 4D space and its 3D projection. This dude can see in a whole nother dimension that we don't even know about. Damn! This next one has a linguistic level of over 9,000.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
That's a classic. Anyway, she knew what was up when he seen her drop the drink. When he seen her? You mean saw? When he saw her? This is a very valid construction in many people's spoken vernacular. In an informal setting, there is absolutely nothing linguistically wrong with what they wrote. Its morphosyntactic function, to my guess, seems to just be disambiguate between the passive and active voice via mutation. However, the mutation is not a vital component in establishing meaning. Ergo, the construction's flouting of the rule is fine and about as much as a bastardization as splitting an infinitive, which you surely do often. I mean, this one's fair enough. Outsmarting the grammar police on this one. This next one has some solid proof that they are smarter than all of their friends. The thing I'm learning most in this sub is how many supposedly obscure words I use regularly. I love Wordle mainly because it gives me what I consider to be solid proof that I'm smarter than all of my friends. The bigger question is, how many friends do you have? If you act like that, for this next one, those damn hippie snowflake millennials forced them to waste their considerable intelligence. 1 star. Too expensive. Doesn't work as advertised. No custo.er service. You know, this would have been a great one for r/1 star. Chillax Automatic Litter Box. A review. I normally don't waste my time, nor my considerable intelligence posting reviews of products. Neither do I complain or cast aspersions unless they are truly well-deserved. I assure you in this case a review is necessary. To say that this device is the single worst purchase I've ever made would be accurate. To vilify those who sell this item would be well-deserved. To describe them as a bunch of hippie snowflake millennials trying to foist their idea of an environmentally friendly design that is ergonomic and easy to use might sound unfair. But it would be accurate. This item is absolutely useless. It's more effective as a bowling ball than a cat box. It does not conveniently and quietly dispose of your kitty friend's waste. It makes loud clacking noises as the traveling rake device stirs the litter, urine, and other leavings into a giant wad of something resembling crap-infused pizza dough with added gravel. No, not the gravel! That material that isn't included in the dough ball is tossed out of the box to either side, or fired catapult-like against the walls. Of course, they are simply not smart enough to emulate the superior siege weapon, the trebuchet. We are unable to use the included dome lid. Apparently, the designers didn't realize that adult cats are taller than 6 inches. Ours can't get through the opening without knocking the lid off. For a device that's supposed to save time, effort, and litter, not so much. I've spent more time, money, and effort taking care of cat box issues in the past 5 days we've been using this thing than I have in the whole of the past year. As an extra added bonus, for the $399.99, goddamn, shipping included, unless you want it before the rapture, I get no customer service via Facebook Messenger only. I can't even talk to a person onto the phone to try and get some help. The company feels that the most convenient method of communication is via text message. Horse apples. They just don't want to have to actually hear anyone make a complaint or provide actual customer service. If anyone ever recommends a Chillax automatic litter box to you, don't listen. In fact, just slap them. Slap them as hard as you can. Make them tremble at the sheer power of your slap. And 37 people found this one helpful. This next one is so damn smart that nobody can match your intellect. A psychiatrist scored me at 149. Nobody worth talking to. I have 4 PhDs and pretty much have to live in my own head. By the way, you sure as hell don't want to be above 160. 3 of my students ended it all. Totally unfit to live in this world, thinking emoji. This next one was on a post asking if other people on a subreddit find that babies drain their social battery quicker than other humans do. Maybe it has to do with intelligence. I also avoid stupid adults, so it must be that. Babies are simply too low IQ for me. And now, because you need to act smart just to say that's AI generated, a critical identifying factor of dialogue generated by supervised deep learning trained TTS algorithms is a phonetic artifact I like to term digital breathiness. You can notice it when the algorithm speaks, along with a distinct inability to correctly pitch word emphasis and occasional mispronunciations, intrinsic to all TTS algorithms regardless of the pre-programmed phoneme banks. What? Smart shit and big words. I'll just say that it is really easy to tell a snippet of dialogue made by the AI from one spoken by the actual person because the AI speaks all breathy like. That's it. Alright, at least it seems like they're capable of simplifying things. And for this next one, somebody who evidently has control of their frontal lobe on r/Discord app. This is a fallacy. Just like the criminal who says, just don't get caught. Those who have command of their frontal lobes ignore this kind of idiocy in the form of comment. Yet you didn't take your own advice. Ironic. Ad hominem fallacy. Little boy, you're not that smart. Little boy! For this last one, this intellectual just doesn't let people enjoy their hobbies. You cannot collect dice. They are very unhealthy. You got me who has a bunch of dice with no intention of playing D&D anytime soon. They're just neat, you know. And the intellectual replies, it is not a healthy habit to collect clutter and useless junk. This is something that leads to interventions and hoarders. Dude, just let people enjoy things. Jesus. Loving this brand of anti-intellectualism. It's one thing to collect a few dice if you enjoy it. It's a whole nother to be a full-on hoarder. Just let people enjoy their hobbies. Anyway, I'd like to thank all of my patrons, especially Nightcrawler, Spoony the Rogue, Kettle and Cormetti, Bacon Cat, Benjamins, and a jury of jubilantly juggling Jerrys. You can join in the link below, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. If you have something interesting to say, don't forget to comment. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. See you guys next time.